attention, please? Have your attention, please. We decided since the turnout was so large that we would go ahead and begin now rather than wait till 6:45. You may not be able to move by 6:45. My name is Michael Shelley. I'm the chairman of the Arkansas Symphony Board. I want to welcome you here tonight. I want to welcome patrons here. I'm here representing our board of directors and very excited about this evening. I want to thank you all for your support. There are many patrons here and corporate supporters as well. We'll talk more about that later. We have several representatives of the media. This is an exciting evening for us. This has been a great season so far. Many of you came to Cirque de la Symphony. That was a huge success for the symphony and great fun. We really enjoyed that. We've got a great lineup continuing this spring. My favorite is going to be the Beethoven Symphony coming up. That's going to be wonderful in a couple of weeks. So if you haven't made arrangements for that, please do. Tamara Clement is here. She'll be happy to sell you some tickets. We have two big announcements to make tonight. And I want you to understand that this is the culmination of a great deal of effort on the part of a large number of people for us to go through the process that we've been through to identify the finalists in the conductor search that Martin Toma will announce to you later. I want to talk to you just a little bit about the process and also our season for next year. I think you'll... Okay, crank it up, guys. I'm sorry. Sinus. Okay. I'm going to do this because I'm a little too tall for the speaker. Yeah. And I'm not going to sing for you because that's nice. Okay, as I said, these announcements this evening are the culmination of a great deal of effort on the part of a lot of people. Putting together the 2009-2010 season, putting together any season is a lot of work. When you're putting together a season where you're going to have 5 conductor finalists come in, adds a great deal of interesting additional concerns in the season. Later we'll name the 5 finalists, and I know you're excited for that. I do want to make a couple of comments about that. A week ago Tuesday, I had an early morning meeting with a fellow named Henry Fogel. He's the longtime executive director of the Chicago Symphony. Before that was the executive director. Before that was the executive director of the National Symphony in Washington, D.C. And he looked at our list of finalists and he said, "You have a can't-miss group here." And we're really excited about that. He said the same thing to the orchestra, and they're very excited, so we're all anxious to hear who they are, but you have to wait a little bit to hear. I was fortunate to serve on the search committee. The search committee was, Martin will tell you, was co-chaired by Lee Rennell and Dr. George Mitchell. One of the things that struck me throughout the search process was that with this very diverse group that comprised the search committee, there was a very open and sharing environment. There were lots of opinions, and there were some very strong opinions. I've been known to have an opinion or two, and there were many stronger opinions than mine. There was no groupthink at all. Groupthink did not exist in this effort. We had 175 applicants. We pared those down, and Martin will talk more about that in a moment. But the remarkable thing for me is that we took a secret ballot. We all rated who we felt would be the 5 finalists, and among the entire group, there was 0 dissension about whom the top 5 were. You know how remarkable that is? There were 12 semifinalists, all great. Any one of whom would have been a good conductor for us. And we all picked the same 5. Not the same order, but we all picked the same 5. And again, I think you'll be very excited to hear who they are. This is an exciting time for us. Lee Rennell led our last search, and he told me this would be fun. And I was needing some fun about then when David had let us know that he was going to be moving on. It has been a great deal of fun. It really was fun when we identified again the top 5. We all spoke with them again. I'm taking too much of Martin's thunder. He'll tell you more about the process. But it was so exciting, and we were so happy when we identified these. I just so much enjoyed their personalities. This is also a bit sad time because Galen, as you saw in the paper On Tuesday, Galen and Wixon, we've fallen victim to Austin. Once again, they got our fire chief, and now they got our executive director. Galen has accepted a position as executive director of the Austin Symphony, and it is a larger symphony with a larger budget than we have. This is a move up for Galen, and I have to believe that the work he did here, the good work he's done here over the past year and a half, had a lot to do with him moving to that position. So if you would join me in congratulating Galen for this We have already identified a director search committee. That happened in 2 days, and we hope to name an interim director Monday. And we have had a great deal of interest in the executive director position, the permanent replacement of that position as well. So hopefully there'll be more news on that. Well, again, I've got 5 months to go in my 2-year tenure as chair. This has been a great deal of fun. Those of you who have followed the symphony know that 2 years ago we were not in the black. We are in the black now. We have got a really strong board. We already had a strong board. We've added some very strong members in the last 2 years. I'm very happy with that. I've got a hard-working crew of people, and something I mentioned to someone today is that if I did anything smart in the last 2 years, it was identify Martin Thoma to be the chair-elect and to work with me for the entire 2 years instead of just the last year of my term. He's been tireless and wonderful to work with. Thank you. I was a little concerned in my dual role as working on the Baptist Health Foundation board when we recruited one of their best people, Troy Deal, to come over and be our Director of Development. But we're thrilled he's here, and I want to introduce Troy Deal to you now, and he's going to cover the next segment. Troy.
Thank you, Michael. I first say I'm probably part of the plot to keep talking, to keep you away from the announcements that you really want to hear, so I will make my comments brief tonight. But first of all, I just want to take a moment and recognize some of our special friends, and those are our current concert series sponsors. It is their support and sponsorship that make our wonderful programming possible. From our Pops Live series, we are most proud to present a lineup of performances and guest artists worthy of the generous support provided by our series sponsor, Axiom. Since 2005, the Axiom Pops Live series has entertained a broad range of patrons. We are glad to have with us tonight Axiom's Chief Executive Officer and President, John Meyer. John, if you'll raise your hand. John, we'd just like to offer our heartfelt thanks to Axiom's support for the series. We want to thank you. We think you'll really be excited about our lineup that we have for you. Thank you also for giving us the opportunity to present yet another season that will be really spectacular. So let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Another series sponsor that has been giving us many great classic performances as underwriter of the Masterworks Concert Series since 2001, this season will be no exception. Playing host this year to the music director candidates and guest artists alike, the highly anticipated 2009-2010 Stella Buell Smith Masterworks Concert Series will definitely be the talk of the town. With us today representing the Stella Buell Smith Trust is Mike Maiden. Mike, we would like to just on behalf of the ASO, our musicians, and our patrons, recognize and thank you for your patronage and your continued support. It really will be a special and exciting season this year, so thank you very much. Additionally, I would just like to thank